very first video that you're watching. So first off, let me just say thank you and welcome to the system. It's a very powerful software that you have access to here. It does a lot of different things, and in this video I'm going to help you get acquainted with kind of the steps to follow, what you should do step by step in order to get your system up and running. And this is going to be kind of a flow from one point to the end. Now if you need detail on each one of these steps, you can watch the other videos that I've included inside of the training area. So let's go ahead and start with that. Here inside of the training area, you'll notice we have training on each of the different tools, everything from the leads function of grabbing leads all the way down to setting up text message campaigns. So going back here to the dashboard, this area right here gives you an overview of what's happening inside of Hot Prospector. However, none of these other features here with regard to the text message, voice broadcast, or the power dialer will actually be active until you fill out your profile. So what you want to do first is you want to go inside your profile and you want to fill out all this information, okay? Each and everything here. Now you can watch the training video that I've created just on the profile, which is below this video. But it's very simple. All you have to do is go in and fill all that detail out. Now the next thing that you do after you set up your profile is you're going to want to go in and set up your SMTP details. Now these details here are the details that will be used for sending out emails from within the power dialer. These don't have anything to do with the mass emailer. These are two different functions. The mass emailer has its own SMTP accounts that you can add. We assume that you would probably want to keep those emails separate. Now you have the ability to load those same SMTP settings inside the mass emailer, but for the power dialer to have the ability to email, you must actually fill out this SMTP account here. So once you have set up your profile and your SMTP account, the next thing you're going to want to do is go over and check out the power dialer. Now before anything can happen inside of the power dialer, as you can see, I have a lot of different campaigns that are already set up, but in order for these campaigns to actually be active, you have to do a couple of things. Now the first thing you're going to need is a phone number. You can either add a number here or you can add a number by creating a campaign. Now if you first access this area and you do not see the ability to add a campaign, you may actually see an error that lets you know that your profile hasn't been filled out. You must actually complete the profile area first. But once you filled out that profile area, you'll see this area here, and then all you have to do to either add a number is click here or just click Add New Campaign. So we're not going to go into the details of creating a campaign here, but as you can see, it's pretty self-explanatory, all the different features that are here inside. You can, the next thing you're going to want to do after you create a campaign is go in here and create any email templates that you might want to use inside your campaigns. Now these email templates like SMS and email and also the voicemail templates, those can all be used in any campaign. Now the way that those are actually used is, when you go back here to a campaign and click Start, you'll notice, like for example, if you want to send an email, you have to actually have the email in there, and you have to click Save. Now you'll notice when you have the email in there, if you click on Email, it'll open up a box and allow you to choose the template that you'd like to use. You could just click Send. Same thing happens with the SMS and also with your messages that you're sending out with your voicemail campaign. So if you want to leave a voicemail, you just select the voicemail that you'd like to send from here. Okay? All of this is covered in great detail within the actual training, but this is just a general overview. So as you can see, if you're first getting started, you're not going to have any of this stuff already inside of your power dialer. It's going to be completely bare. So in order to create a campaign, you're going to want to click Add New Campaign, fill out the details, load a list of contacts in there, and then you'll be able to get started. Now, speaking of contacts, here is where you will load your contacts, and that's also a very simple thing. The first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and go to Groups. Okay, and you can actually go inside of Groups and create Add Group. Once you add a group, you can assign it to whatever team members you want. Click Add Group, and once that group is added, then you can come in and import contacts by selecting the group that you want to add those contacts to, selecting the service type that you want to make those contacts available for. So if you have a phone number only, then it would be able to be used in the power dialer or the voice broadcaster. If you have a mobile phone number, you can use it in the text message system. If you have an email as well, then you can also use the email service type as well. Now you have the ability to check multiple service types, however you must have that data present or else it won't upload into the system properly. Okay. Now the other thing to note is that these files are only accepting CSV files. That's the only type of file that you can actually upload is a CSV file into the system. Some things to keep in mind when you're loading a CSV file is to strip out any special characters. We do our very best to make sure that we ignore some of those things, but there are cases where the system may get tripped up by a special character. So what are special characters? Special characters are anything other than letters and numbers. Now obviously there are certain URLs or certain fields like URLs and email addresses that are going to have special characters, but you don't want to put special characters in important fields like the address and phone number fields. You want to make sure you strip out anything like colons and extra commas and that type of thing, because that will trick the system into believing that there is an extra row if it sees a tab or a comma or a colon, anything that could be misrepresenting a new row. Okay, or a separation. Okay, so that's the contacts area. As far as the contacts area, it's pretty simple stuff. Just keep those two things in mind, and you'll be okay. The voice broadcast system. This is actually a system that's really meant to work in conjunction with the power dialer. Now, you do have the ability to have limited functionality with the voice broadcaster, which is to send out a broadcast message only with an interactive type of voice broadcast. So you could send out a press 1 message where someone can press 1 to be connected to you live. However, because of the functionality of the phone company, Twilio does not actually do a really good job at verifying or detecting answering machines. So because of that, we don't allow for automatic answering machine detection and delivering voicemails on this system. If you do need a system that does that, you can contact us at support, and we can set you up with a system that will actually do that, called Voice Prospector. So as far as the voice broadcasters concerned, very simple as well. Just come inside here, and you can just create a campaign just like you do inside the power dialer. Now, you do not need to use all of these features to make Hot Prospector work. You only need to pick 1 or 2 or maybe 3 of these things that you want to use, and then they all can be used together. Most people get started with just the power dialer and the contacts tab. There's no need to get confused about the appointments and the mass emailer and the text messages. You don't have to worry about using everything that you see. Just use what you feel comfortable with, and then over time, as you feel more comfortable with the system, then add on a different function, add on a different module. It's better to get started with something rather than nothing. Now, speaking of contacts, let's go over and check out the new features here inside the Get Leads tab. As you can see, we've made some modifications to the leads area where you basically have the ability to come in and choose the campaign or choose the keywords that you want, and you can just keep on adding different types of keywords. So for example, you wanted to search for Chicago pizza, then maybe you want to search for Chicago subs. I don't know. Anyways, you would be able to do that, and you can keep on adding up to 3 keywords. Now, we use Google's API, so as you can see, you're only limited to 3 pages to crawl on Google's API for searches. So basically what that means is that inside of the Get Leads area, each keyword will be able to go 3 pages deep. So you'll effectively be searching 3 pages for Chicago pizza, 3 pages for Chicago subs, so on and so forth. Now, reviews only, what this does is this allows you to skip all the other data, which really isn't necessary. This will only pull the reviews. I personally don't use this function. I just get all of the data. But once you've selected the keywords you want, just click Get Leads and it'll go ahead and do the search, and you'll be able to export those leads directly into your contacts just with a couple clicks of a mouse. So we've talked about the Power Dialer, we've talked about the Contact Manager, we talked about Get Leads, we've talked about setting up your profile. Now let's talk. We've also talked about the Voice Broadcaster. Let's talk about SMS. Now here inside of the SMS system, this again has very limited functionality. This is meant for sending out voice broadcasts. Text message broadcasts to customers that you have an existing relationship with. This is not meant for you to go out and start spamming people on their phone. As a matter of fact, there are serious fines for that, so you want to make sure that you don't send out text messages to people that you're not allowed to send text messages to. The best way to get a list of text messages, subscribers inside of a text message campaign is to create a campaign where the user has to subscribe by texting in or calling in or pressing in their phone number. Now, there's more detail about this inside of the training area. It'll teach you exactly how to set up a campaign inside of the text message system. The mass emailer is a bulk email system. This allows you to load up multiple SMTP servers and then load a message, compose a message, and then send out a message to a few hundred or a few thousand people. Now, some things that you want to know about this system is, in some cases, like for example, Amazon SES, there is a server limit of 10,000 emails per day. So if I wanted to send out 100,000 emails, which I really don't suggest anybody doing, but if you did want to send that out, you would need multiple SMTP servers. So we have created the functionality for you to add multiple servers that have different limits, and then what will happen is once the server hits its load or its limit, it'll go to the next server, so on and so forth. Now, it's a very easy setup. All you have to do to add your SMTP is just come in here, find your server, or just load your settings. And if you're unsure about these settings, just something to keep in mind, more times than not, you're going to be looking at, as you can see here, these are the majority of the SMTP servers in here. Usually the port is going to be 25. If it's secure, then you'll use a 465, and you'll want to click yes for secure, and that's that. Now, as far as usernames and passwords, right now the only functionality that we allow for is email and password as the username and password. We will be adding some additional features later on down the line if you have different types of emails where you require a specific type of username. Let us know in support so we can help you if you do have those types of requests. So as far as the mass emailer is concerned, that is pretty much it. It's very basic, very simple. The next thing I want to talk about is the team area. Now, this isn't something that everybody has access to. Everybody has access to a team member account, but the only way that you'll have any team members is either, well, if you purchase them. Now you can purchase them just by clicking on Add New Team Member, and you'll see there'll be a package that'll pop up where you can choose the features that you want to add for your team member and just pay by registering here at the bottom. Now, the other cool thing about the features here inside of the team members area is we have a lot of different things that you can do as far as management. You can manage the pages that the users see. You can manage the groups that they have access to, manage the power dialer campaigns, voice broadcaster campaigns, and text message marketing campaigns. But we've also created the ability for you to assign team manager capabilities. So if you wanted a user to have access to all of the things that you have access to, you can do that. We also have a chat feature that we've just added that allows the user, the team manager and all the users to communicate with each other inside of the power dialer if you enable it. So the chat will actually pop up inside the power dialer, the chat window, and if there is something you need to talk to each other about, you can do that there inside of the chat. So that is all of the features inside of the team member account. Here is the monitor area. In the monitoring area, you'll have the ability to see all of the calls that your users are making specifically. If you want to, say, select a certain date and see how they did for that specific date, you can do that. But this is a very cool feature for getting call reports instantly if you're just trying to see how your calls are going for the day. You also have the ability to monitor live agents here inside of the live agents. So if you have agents that are logged in, you can click on the agent and listen in, or actually take over as well. If you want to click on speak, then you'll have the ability to take over a call or talk on that call. Very powerful features there inside of the monitor area. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is the Reports tab. Now, the Reports tab is something that is going to allow you to see the calls that you've made within the power dialer and also the voice broadcaster. So basically, you just come in and select the campaign, or select the campaign type, select the campaign itself, then select the users that you want and any dispositions that you want to run a report on, along with the dates that you want to run those reports. Then you have the ability to manage the fields that you want to select. So if you want to see all of these additional fields, just click on Add New Fields, and then you can actually export this report up here at the top. So the Reports field allows you to see the calls that have been made along with some of the details, and if there's a call recording, you can also get that. So very powerful functionality. The next tab that I want to show you is the Appointments tab. Now, the Appointments tab, you can see all of your appointments that are synced up both ways through your calendar, both with regard to the what you have already added on Google side or anything that you've added in from Hot Prospector side. Now, as far as setting up your Google account, it's very easy. All you have to do is put in your email and your password and then update. Now, if you're having any problems with syncing up to your Google account, you want to check inside of the training area. We've added a special video specifically covering any Google sync issues because Google does block the initial request. So you'll have to go into your Google account and actually approve that request. It's something that Google just started doing a couple months back. So you want to make sure that you keep note of that. The next thing after you have gone into the appointments calendar that you're going to want to make sure to keep note of is our Help tab. If at any time you have any questions or about support issues or anything like that, it'll automatically take you right over to the Zendesk area where everything will be right at your fingertips, so you'll be able to have the ability to open up a support ticket.